we need a lot of help. Our bosses here at Chat Sports are going to suspend the Miami Heat report if we do not get 300 likes on this video. And we can't get suspended. What if Damian Lillard gets traded to the Heat? Help me out, please. Hit that like button right now. All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, and we have a pretty interesting Heat Report on tap for you guys today, and it all surrounds that man right there, Giannis Antetokounmpo, because there is growing suspicion around the NBA that he could leave Milwaukee in a couple of years. So could he join Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo in the 305? We talk about that, plus a Heat free agent target that the Heat are actually linked to as we currently speak. But let's jump into Giannis right now, and it all started with this quote on his future, because he said this: next summer, it would make more sense for both parties when talking about a possible extension. Even then, I don't know. I would not be the best version of myself if I don't know that everybody's on the same page, everybody's going for a championship, everybody's going to sacrifice the time away from their family like I do, and if I don't feel that, I'm not signing. At the end of the day, I feel like all my teammates know and the organization knows that I want to win a championship. As long as we're on the same page with that, and you know and show me that we go to win together and win a championship, I'm all for it. The moment I feel like, oh yeah, we're trying to rebuild, I might be out. And I'll tell you this right now, and I'm just going to get out in the open. I am not falling for the Giannis Antetokounmpo trap right now. I got baited by Giannis 2 or 3 years ago before he signed the current deal he has right now in Milwaukee. I was convinced after the Heat knocked him out in the bubble that he was going to join the Miami Heat, I should say, the following free agency. But that obviously did not happen, and I believe Giannis is just saying this to put pressure on the Bucks front office to build a team around him, not for the current, but for the future as well. Because let's be honest, they have Jrue Holiday, they have Chris Middleton, they have Brook Lopez, and Bobby Portis. But after those four guys go on, like we're talking Giannis right now, he's still 28, 29. Those four guys I just mentioned are in their mid to late 30s. So there is not a long-term plan around Giannis. And it makes sense that he would want some security and knowledge that the Bucks have a plan after those four players around Giannis, as we currently speak, are going to be replaced by people who can help win a championship in Milwaukee. And there is also a part to me that believes that it wouldn't make sense to sign an extension this offseason either. He, let me just make sure I have this right, has a player option in 2025 and is an unrestricted free agent in 2026. So this isn't something that needs to be done right now. It's not a pressing situation in Milwaukee. So why would he sign an extension with 2 years left on his deal, right? And he could obviously opt out in 2025 and become a massive free agent where it's free game. But I certainly don't see a possibility where he actually does leave Milwaukee. I fully expect Giannis to sign another extension with the Bucks in the offseason next year. See what happens this year with Jrue Holiday, Chris Middleton. We've seen Middleton decline a little bit coming off that pretty serious injury. So maybe there is a chance that he wants them to move on from Chris and replace him next offseason with someone else, and then Giannis will hit that dotted line with an extension. But maybe there is a way for the Heat to get Giannis and convince him to join the Miami Heat and leave the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, listen, the Heat have beat the Bucks in the postseason 2 out of the last 4 seasons, so there is a chance that maybe Giannis would want to join the good side in the 305. But it is today's pinned comment, and I want to ask you guys, do you think it can happen? But it all starts with this, right? Is Giannis going to sign an extension with the Milwaukee Bucks? Type Y if you think he does. Type N if you don't think he does. Let me know in the comment section. But let's talk about the potential fit with Giannis and the Miami Heat, because it is hard to ignore how good of a match the two would be. And if you just start with what he has done over the past 4 seasons, obviously winning that elusive championship in 2020, 2021, where they actually beat the Miami Heat in the first round of the playoffs in a nasty sweep that really just ended a very poor season for Miami. But Giannis is consistently a top 3 player in the association. I really think he's the second best player in the league. It's Nikola Jokic to me, then Giannis, then you can argue maybe a Luka or a Steph Curry, but Giannis is a top 3 player in the league, no debate for me, and he just came off one of his best seasons of his career, averaging 31 a night. He's a double-double machine. He's also one of the most efficient players in NBA history, shooting above 50% every single year. But what he does on the defensive end as well as the offensive end is what makes him so good. He is going to get you a block a night at bare minimum, and he can guard 1 through 5, just like our main man, Bam Adebayo. And this is kind of where I lead to a part of me that wants this to happen a lot, because one can dream about the potential Giannis and Bam duo, because it would be the best duo in NBA history when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Just think about Bam at the 5, Giannis at the 4, the switching, the full court pressure they can provide. It is something out of a dream. When you think about elite defense and the best defensive unit you can possibly have, Giannis and Bam would headline that group. And I'm just getting a little excited, if in a place that I can't really tell you right now, about a potential Giannis-Bam defensive front court. And all I'm going to say, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but Jimmy Butler and Giannis's contracts do line up exactly to where maybe if Jimmy Butler wins a couple championships with a man in called Dame time, that he could potentially retire and Giannis can come fill that spot. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself here, but it is a little interesting that Jimmy and Giannis's contract do line up. We're going to talk the player that the Heat are interested in potentially in signing if a Damian Lillard trade does happen. But I want you guys to join the rocket ship and subscribe to the Heat Report, because the season is almost 2 months away as we currently speak. And if you want to be covered on the Miami Heat throughout this upcoming year and the rest of the offseason, talking Damian Lillard and other potential free agents Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra could go out and get, this is the place for you. We're also 13 subs away from a big milestone, 5K. If we hit there on this video, I will be doing a beer shotgun to kick off tomorrow's video. Now up on the Heat Report, we're talking about a reported interest from the Miami Heat on sharpshooter Svi Mykhailiuk. And I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce Svi's full name. I'm sorry, Svi, but everyone calls you Svi anyway, so we should be good. But it all starts with Greg Sylvander, because he tweeted this out a couple weeks ago, actually, or just a week, and said this: the Miami Heat have expressed interest in signing Ukrainian sharpshooter Svi Mykhailiuk per source. Move is largely contingent on expected need to replenish shooting by eventual departure of Duncan Robinson and or Tyler Hero, plus Max Strus's sign-in trade earlier in the offseason to Cleveland. And when Greg, mentions Ukrainian sharpshooter, that is no joke, because he is someone who can light it up from beyond the arc. I mean, he is absolutely amazing from deep, right? He shot 42.4% from 3 this past season on 3.1 attempts, split time with the New York Knicks and Charlotte Hornets. When he was with the Detroit Pistons 4 years ago, he shot 40% from beyond the arc. He has one goal when he's on the court, and it is to shoot the 3 ball. And I don't really look at the 2 seasons where his 3-point percentages were down in 2020 and 2021, because he really wasn't given an opportunity to play. But this past season, in a limited role, he was able to bump up that shooting percentage to a really good number. But you know what we do at the Heat Report. We look at advanced shooting. And Svi's shooting is very, very good. And this is his advanced shooting metrics from last season with the Charlotte Hornets. When he was inside 10 feet close to the basket, he was pretty good, shooting 54%, and that is very doable. But in that mid-range in the pull-up, shooting 31.8%, that is obviously horrific, but good news. If you're playing for the Miami Heat, you're not going to need to shoot pull-up mid-range jumpers. You're going to only need to do stuff from beyond the arc in the catch-and-shoot game, which he does extremely well. 43.9% from the field when catching and shooting from beyond the arc. And even when he had to put the ball on a deck, maybe a little pump fake, one dribble to the side, he could still hit that pull-up 3 at 40.5%. But segment alert, let's go deeper, something you never want to hear. But when you look at what Svi Mykhailiuk does when defended tightly and left open, he is very, very dangerous. And he struggled to shoot when defended closely. Shot .9 three-pointers a game when defended tight. Shot 28.6%. Not great. Not going to admit anything other. That's not good numbers. But when he's left open, 4 to 6 feet, 50% on 1.3 attempts per night. And when he is wide open, no one around him, 44.8% from three. I see Chipper going bang, bang, mellow in the three dome. But anyway, this is kind of my point, though, because when Svi is on the court, if he is with the Miami Heat, surrounded by Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, and Bam, he's not going to be tightly contested because there's going to be so much defensive attention on Jimmy, Dame, and Bam that they're going to have to sag off. So if Dame hits Bam in a pick and roll, Bam sets his feet and kicks out to Svi wide open in the corner, he's going to knock it down at an elite rate. So Svi is someone I would be all in and adding to the Miami Heat. And Svi has one job in the NBA, and it is only to shoot wide open threes in the catch and shoot. And I just showed you the numbers. He does it very, very well. So I'm in on signing Svi Mykhailiuk, but I want to ask you guys, should the Heat sign Svi? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Let me know in the comment section. Like I mentioned, I am all in on adding the sharpshooter who originally went to Kansas, by the way. Shout out Mario Chalmers. And that's kind of where I'm letting this. I'm doing this with no hesitation. You trade for Dame, you're likely getting rid of either one or both of Hero and Duncan Robinson. And what have I been preaching over the past month and a half? That even right now as we currently speak, the Heat need shooting. But if they make a trade and lose Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, the Heat's biggest need is backup point guard and shooting. And we always talk on Heat Twitter, that the Heat have shooters. Well, they don't really have them right now, so they're going to have to replenish those shooters with Max Strus leaving, Gabe Vincent leaving. One of the biggest needs, I'm just going to reiterate it one more time before we head out of here, the Heat need three-point shooters with the current roster, and especially if they do trade for Damian Lillard. That's going to do it for today's show. As always, make sure you hit that sub button. We are so close to 5,000 subscribers, and I want to hit there on today's video. So if we do, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to take a beer shotgun, and why wouldn't you want to subscribe? We're covering you with everything Miami Heat news, rumors, and Damian Lillard trade rumors. And guess what? We're going live if he gets traded, so make sure you join us here at the Heat Report.